What up? What's going on? Man. Okay. Okay. Good morning. About to get somebody on here in a second. Let's see here. All right. Somebody got it right. Good morning.
Good morning.
I appreciate you waking up early for this amazing live. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
What time do you usually get up?
8.
Okay. All right. Well, look, this is what I do as a coach. You know what I mean? I motivate. I motivate you. I know when I post the morning motivation in the chat, you be like the last one to respond. Like after
Listen,
I get
real
the early
talk.
morning, I get the morning rise, and it's like, thanks, coach. And then you come like 9 a.m. Like, yeah,
Different
everybody.
strokes for different folks. I like to take
Okay.
the late shift, not the early
Look,
shift.
that's cool. That's cool. Look, I appreciate you jumping on. For everyone that recently started following me, I'm Jay Lopez, the number one body transformation coach for entrepreneurs.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm gonna let Sarah tell y'all who she is, because what's the title? What's the title here? Because it's been a few things since you joined. So
Well, I'm an attorney, but I also have my own business, my own legal consulting business, and I, of course, am a successful graduate of the 90-day body transformation program.
yeah. Okay, all right. So where did you? So let's do a quick backtrack here, because I know that you got plenty of things scheduled this morning. I appreciate you again. Let's backtrack. Where did you find my information? What made you schedule a call?
So your information found me on Instagram.
Dope.
Um,
Great.
but it was perfect timing because I realized that I needed a coach
Mhm.
because fitness and health was one area that had been a consistent challenge in my life pretty much since I'd been an adult. And I had gone to trainers, at gyms and bought programs, and it just wasn't it. So I was like, I need a coach in another area of my life. And then it dawned on me like, hey, you need a coach for this area too. So the Instagram listeners, their ears were perked up. So, your
Mhm.
ad came up.
Mhm.
And then a couple hours later, after watching all the 90-day body transformation interviews on your website, reading testimonials, just like going through some of your content, I was like, wow, if he's giving away this information for free, like what would working with him be like? So I was like, I definitely need
Mhm.
to schedule something, get on his calendar. So I did, and here we are.
So you didn't say like, man, all this information's for free. I'm just gonna let me just patch all this up and just make it work. See, do this. You were like, look, I
Well,
got a goal I need to reach, right?
yeah, and I'm also like, you can get more money. You can't get more time. So I'm like, clearly you figured out something that I haven't figured out. So why would I then spend extra time trying to recreate a system that you've already mastered clearly? And you've done it with people of different ages, from people of different backgrounds. So there was no indication to me that there would be a good reason to start from scratch.
Mhm.
So it's like, why not? I mean, this is why they're experts. They're experts so that you can save time
Mhm.
benefiting off their knowledge. So there, to me, was like no reason. I was like, no, because if I would have had maybe some doubts or some other thoughts if it was like I saw your content and I was like, oh, the content isn't lining up with what, the transformations. It's like, no, clearly he knows what he's doing because, he's not he's giving away, the secrets. Like
Mhm.
he's telling you like if someone I have no doubt if someone were to follow just your free content that they would get results
Right.
because it's solid content. But I was like, I just knew I needed something more tailored. I needed something specific to me. I know what kind of lifestyle I lead. So I need someone to give me the plan to follow and go about my business.
So what are some what were some of your personal struggles? Because I get a lot of times it's so easy for someone to say, must have been easy for her, right? Easy for her to lose the weight, right? What were some of your personal struggles that nutrition, fitness, time, whatever, mindset, what were some personal struggles you were dealing with?
Well, it couldn't have been easy because it like this weight was on for like a solid decade. So it couldn't have been that easy.
All right.
That's one, but I have a lot going on. I have a
Yes.
whole family that I support, and that's, pre and post pandemic, or
Hmm.
we're still in it. So that's, pre and current pandemic.
Right.
I have a full-time job where I work upwards of 60, sometimes 80 hours. I have volunteer duties that I take up. I'm president of ministries in churches. I'm involved in like Haitian professional associations. Like I have a lot going on. Like my biggest issue, which I think is most, successful adult issue, is like a time thing.
Hmm.
And it's like there was definitely like a time, what I felt like was a time deficit actually that you showed me wasn't a time deficit. It was a prioritization issue. It's like I wasn't prioritizing the right things. It's like I said that my health and my fitness and my wellness were important to me, but I didn't structure my day in that way. So
Right.
that was definitely like aha number one. And I guess I'll preface this whole portion of the conversation by saying the gold, the magic, the things that people can't just get by piecing together your content is the mindset stuff. Like you are amazing at really knowing, what a professional's
Oh,
mindset
that's
is, what an entrepreneur
appreciate that.
what an
Oh, good deal.
entrepreneur's mindset is, and really speaking to that. Like
Right.
you gave me the accountability I needed. And that accountability only came because I wholeheartedly trusted that you were someone that I could be accountable to.
Right.
It's not just a matter of getting a coach. Oh yeah, I agree, and be accountable with them. No, like that's something that's earned. That's like a respect. That's like a trust that has to be earned. And it's like you earned it. I knew I could fully invest and fully, you know, trust that you were guiding me, towards things that would be for my best good and to help push me towards my goals. So mindset was like number one. Like you could take away the training, take away the meal plans, those things are important definitely, but with the wrong mindset, like you're pretty much setting up yourself to fail.
Right.
And so what was so amazing about this program was really the investment in the mindset and the continual redirection towards a mindset. Like that to me is like the gold, and that to me is like something that you can't put a price tag on.
What do you mean by redirection toward the mindset?
So I know for myself, like I definitely get in my own head, and I'm always like, hey Jay, what about this? Like if you tell me to do 90 minutes of cardio a week, I'm like, but what about if I add like,
Mhm.
6 extra sessions? And you're like, so you can do 6 extra sessions? No?
Right.
Okay, well, so then why are we having this conversation?
Mhm.
I definitely have I'm an extremist by nature. I definitely have the mindset that more is more, and you help redirect me that just let's just do what I gave you. Like
I
let's just
I said it
stop adding
nicely.
extra
Did I?
stuff
I
and
think I said it nicely.
let's just that thing that's been working. Why don't we keep doing that?
Yes.
Crazy, I know. I was like, good point, good point. Maybe you should keep doing that. So that's like the redirect. Like I know, like again, because mindset is so important, like I get in my own way more so than anything else. And it's like when I'm able to get out of my way, no one else
Mhm.
is able to get in my way. And no situations are able to get in my way. I had things happen during my 90-day. I definitely wasn't perfect. It
Mhm.
definitely wasn't necessarily easy. It was a new way of living my life. It was like, especially when you're talking about being consistent with stuff, like that was different. It was new. I had to restructure my day, restructure my life to prioritize the things that I said was important to me. And frankly, like knowing that I had you and knowing that I had the other ladies who were part of the program, like really, really helped with that. Cause it was like, am I really going to show up every week and have nothing to add to the conversation, nothing to pour into others, or am I just going to show up to
Right.
take? And I'm just not one to show
Let's
up to
talk
do
about that
that.
for a second because so there's me, right? There's Jay Lopez. Like, okay, there's me. but there's like other ladies on the program, right? It's like the community, right? Let's talk about that, like from your perspective. What do you think of that?
From my perspective, like it was a really unexpected like blessing
Hmm.
to have like other ladies who were really what I felt like in the trenches with me. Like they were, it is one thing, I'm a pretty, strong-minded person. Like I generally do the things I say I'm gonna do.
Right.
And I can generally, push through things that are difficult. But there is nothing like having a community of people who are literally in your exact same situation. Like during this process, I legit launched my business. And so to have other business owners who understand the struggle, who understand what it's like to balance family and business and work and life, and, are, both speaking life into you, painting the vision for you of
Hmm.
how you're going to get where you haven't been before and telling you that you can do it. And not in a rah rah, oh sister I love you, way, even though
Right.
that's there and that's important too,
It
but more
is.
so like, no, it's cool that you don't see the scale moving. It's cool that in your eyes you're not seeing the definition come through. It's fine that these markers that you generally like to look for and generally like to see are not yet there, but we're promising you you're going to get there. And I'm like, by simple, mathematics, you know, this, I mean, if this was a scam, this was a like really well orchestrated, like y'all should be, you know, in New York, on some stage somewhere,
Yes.
if that's what it is. But no, it was just like genuinely people being like, listen, this program has given me so much. I'm going to come. There were people showing up on the calls who had finished the program but just came back to really sow into others and be like, this program touched my life so much that I'm here to like pass the baton on, to light the fire that was lit in me, to pass that flame on to someone else.
Right.
So that just goes to show you how like transformative it was. And the fact that you could have that type of, you know, incentivize people that much that they're already busy, they're already doing a lot,
Right.
both personally, professionally, and in every other sense, and that they take time out of their day to be like, what, it is really important to me that I continue to foster these relationships and to help other people along like I was helped along, like speaks to the amazing mindset and growth that happens when you're on a program like this, because it's like, it's one thing to say, cool, I'm going to get mine, and get in and get out. It's another
Right.
thing to say, not only am I going to get mine, but I'm going to help others get theirs. I'm going to hold the door open for them to come through behind me. Like, that's amazing. And that's not something that can be purchased.
So you worked out at home your whole
Yes,
90 days, right? Worked out at home.
entire 90 days.
Any commercial gym equipment at home?
No.
Okay, no commercial gym equipment at home. Treadmill now, right? Like
Yes, now.
you're so excited about it too.
Baby
Treadmill.
treadmill.
Okay,
I really am.
treadmill. Got the treadmill. But during your 90 days, did you have a treadmill?
Nope.
You
No
weren't a fan
treadmill.
of running either, right?
Oh, God. Hate it. Hate, loathe,
Okay.
and detest.
Hated. What was that? What type of discussion did we have? Because I remember you like you didn't admit this. This kind of came up, right? I had to like okay, what are you getting at, right? So you are a fan of running right now, right? You have a treadmill, or are you still not a fan?
Fan is a strong word.
Okay,
Um, I don't hate it.
okay. So you no longer hate it, but at the time when you first joined the program, you did hate cardio. You hated
I did.
running.
I also hated lunges.
Okay, cool. So what what did I say to you to make you be like, okay, I'm gonna do it? Like,
So again, the whole a- accountability thing.
right,
It was like, it's not something that I wanted to do. It's not something that I necessarily thought I needed, but I realized that clearly doing what I thought I wanted to do and needed hadn't got me the results that I
right.
wanted. So
And you were cool with that. We got a little freeze here. Good.
that like really has my best interest at heart, because honestly, it would have been better for you. Like if this was like a money grab for you, you could be like, oh no, Sarah, you don't want like to do cardio? That's fine. You don't have to do it. I'll see
That's
you I'll
why.
see you in your next 90 days
Right.
and the one after that.
Right.
No, but you were like, listen, okay, so you're here for me to coach you. You're here to do things that you did not do before because the things you were doing didn't get you the results that you want to do.
Right.
So let's try this. And what I appreciated is that you did give me the space to have like growth and to change. And you also weren't like so rigid that you were like, no, this is absolutely the only way. You were like, hey, this in my experience is the most effective way. Let's try this way. And if it doesn't work, we'll modify. Same thing with lunges. I was like, I hate lunges. I don't want to do lunges. Lunges suck. And you're like, okay, cool. How about we like start off with this number of lunges and see if we can progress. And I was like, I guess you're right. I guess they're not like the most awful thing in the world. And I actually now like lunges, which is I never thought I'd say.
But I don't.
But yeah.
This is the thing. I don't really. It wasn't a negotiation thing. Like I don't negotiate when it comes to.
Agreed. You
coaching.
Definitely don't. I tried, y'all.
I don't negotiate. Like I definitely don't negotiate. But I can progressively work you towards something, right? Like I can trick you into doing exactly
Agreed.
time, right? Like, okay, you don't want to do lunges, great. Like, can you do this? Can you do squats? Okay, cool. Would you mind stepping out a few times? Like, right? And you just like, you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. Like, yeah, it wasn't, right? And you're toning because you wanted to like tone, right? Because you already have, they seen the transformations, you already have the curves, right? And you like, listen, I want to shred the fat, but I want to keep the curves. So one of the main things was like, you don't need heavy equipment. You don't need to kill yourself in the gym. You really just need to do certain movements that you may not be a fan of, but if you do them for a 90-day period, your body's going to be like, okay, we see what's going on here. And that's exactly what happened, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's,
yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's crazy because it's like, I remember I said to you early on, I'm like, I'm not really an individual who sweats. Like I did like wrestling in high school. So like I've been fit, I've been like physically active, but like I've never really been one who like sweated a lot. But I remember speaking to you after my first training session and I was like, oh my God, like rivers of water exited my body. And you're like, that's because you were training, not working out. I was like, oh, all right. This is what that feels like. Got it.
But even but I also told you, like, and I tell people, just because you don't sweat doesn't mean you're not burning fat. But when it's different for everybody, when you may have a certain level of flexibility, you may have been going to a coach, fine. But when I design something for you that I know is going to challenge your body and your body's being challenged, yeah, you're going to sweat because you're like working overtime to do something like you never done, right? Let's touch on the nutrition real quick because I know you mentioned the Haitian thing, right? So let's talk about it because this comes up a lot, right? So rice is life.
Yes.
Rice. Okay. Rice was
meal.
Okay. Cool. Rice is life. Cool. So how did you like learn to tame? I'm gonna say tame that. Because look, rice, what else? What am I missing here?
Plantains.
Yeah, okay. Those things. I call them stir-fry bananas. So stir-fry bananas.
No, please don't listen. I cannot be Haitian unless you call plantains bananas. They're plantains.
That's like dessert though. They're good. Okay, so those.
No.
So those. All right. So how did you tame that? Like, how did you keep that? Because you work a high-stress job. And you started your business in the middle of your 90-day program. So the stress of what you already do as an attorney, cool. And then the positive stress and a little negative, right, of starting your business. How did you control your emotions when it came to stress eating, boredom eating, things like that? How did you control that?
Well, it was definitely a process. And I'm not going to pretend that I was perfect and that no rice showed up at any time. Mm-hmm. But it was like, so one saying that you have that I've adopted, both towards my health and my fitness and in other areas of my life is don't check for results. Just know that this is, you're following a plan that works and trust that. Trust that the results will show up, but don't, oh, have I lost this? Have I, So it really helped to be like, okay. And I will say, like, the food wasn't bad. Like, if you know how to season food, like anything, you can make anything taste good.
Mm-hmm.
I have always eaten a fair amount of fruits and vegetables. So, there were a fair amount of vegetables. You find different ways to season your asparagus. You find different ways to season your spinach. You can make them taste differently based on what you're putting in them. I like sweet potatoes. So, after a while they got to be trying, but I was like, it's okay. I'm not eating for fun. I'm eating for goals.
Right.
Yeah. So it really was like the accountability that allowed me to more or less stick to my meal plan and to commit to continuing to do it. And also it was really nice. Like, my favorite part about the meal plan was that it was simple. It wasn't this thing that was like 80 ingredients and I had to have hours and hours of meal prep every week to even be able to get like a couple meals down. Like, it was simple. It was simple ingredients. I had the seasonings already. I could make different things taste the way I wanted them to. It was foods that were easily accessible. We know, in the pandemic, supply chains have broken down. There are times where, there's none of this and none of that and none of whatever. So it made it so much easier. I couldn't even imagine like stressing about finding some secret, mundane, hard to find ingredient while like I'm in a pandemic, working, starting my business, doing all these things and worrying about something as, silly as like an ingredient for something. Right. So the meals were simple but effective, easy to make, easy to season. It wasn't some like weird, crazy meat options. It wasn't like you need quail from like Scotland. Otherwise, you're going to fail.
No, but you know what? Let's talk about that for a second. So I think a lot of people look for things to be complicated, though, right? And
because it's an excuse.
People just look for things. It's like, okay, do I get another meal plan? I'm like, no, it's been designed. Here you go. You want conflict, you want struggle. There's no struggle on my program. And I think a lot of people see the amazing results and like, man, it's got to be more. No, it's not more. It's just science-based, right? It's been developed to prevent you from overthinking. I remove the homework. You don't have to do any research. It's just follow the plan, right?
Agreed. And that, like, in and of itself, I could see how that would be, I wouldn't say difficult, but challenging for someone who is used to like being in control, doing all the things, figuring it all out by themselves. And it's like, oh, it really is this easy. It's like color by numbers. It's like, you can be Van Gogh too. You just have to follow the instructions, which you're like, wait, it can't be this easy. Like it can't, but like it is. And it was.
I'm sorry that your favorite influencer, overcomplicated this and told you had to do all this crazy stuff, but it's really not that crazy. Like it's not simple as in like you can figure it out on your own, but it's not as complicated as other people make it out to be. So cool. So we touched on nutrition, mindset, the workouts. Overall, what did you accomplish in 90 days? And what have you accomplished since your first 90-day program? Because you are getting ready to start your next 90. I know you just been on vacation, carb loading, cool. It's time to like get right back to it. But what did you accomplish overall on your first 90? And what have you accomplished since then?
So much. So since, weight loss and body and health is what we're talking about immediately. Yeah. So 25 pounds down, increased endurance. Like I said, I hated lunges now, kind of love them, increased toning. Just, overall, I remember during our consultation, I said to you, weight loss is great, toning is great, all that stuff are things that I want. But what I really, really want is to feel good in my body. And I want to know that my body is capable of performing the way and how I need it to. And I have that now, and that is priceless, because what that means is that there's not going to be this consistent cycle of putting on the weight and then taking off the weight and then putting on the weight and taking off the weight. So that to me was like the most invaluable thing. Aside from that, as if that wasn't enough, because Lord knows if we could, we'd pay for more healthy, whole time on this earth. If that wasn't enough, you've been an amazing resource as an entrepreneurship coach. I was little baby entrepreneur wading in the waters, and you've just provided such great insight. And that, I'm scared to say it, but like that wasn't provided as an additional fee. It was like, I don't know, he was supposed to give me all that much.
Let's talk about that, right? Because again, I just said this yesterday. I'm not a bells and whistles type guy, right? I don't try to over convince people or anything, because I don't want someone joining my program because of one particular thing, right? Just trying to oversell themselves because I want to, I know this person I follow is on the program. Like, that's not what we do. I'm very protective of everyone that's on the program. I'm protective of the brand, right? But for someone that you're great at what you do as an attorney, you had the goal of actually launching a business, and I was able to pretty much coach you through that.
Yes.
Okay.
Invaluable coaching. Like, that should have been, in my mind, maybe more than the cost of your program.
Right.
Yeah. And you gave me that just as, by purview of you being part of the program. And I am like more than words could ever say, like invaluably like appreciative. You saved me so much time, which again, we can get more money. We can't get more time.
Right.
And so there was like, definitely large part of my ability to scale and grow my business as fast as I was able to. I feel like I'm years ahead of other people who, started their business during a pandemic knowing nothing.
Right.
So there's like the health, the fitness, there's the business aspect. There's also just, again, like the mindset, which can't be, I feel like the mindset is the umbrella under which everything else grows, where it's like, I am not who I was when I started this program 90 days ago. I mean, I know people love to throw that word around and, have it mean whatever it is that they want it to mean, but I am a different person. Like, the Sarah that started the program is not the Sarah that I am today. I think about things differently. I prioritize things differently. I like the decisions I make in my life are ones that I wouldn't have made prior, because I'm able to quickly not to say that I don't go off course, because I do, because I'm human, but it's like when I make decisions that don't bring me closer towards my goals, I'm able to identify that and be like, you know what, that wasn't something that is going to bring me towards my goals. Let me make a new decision. Right. And the other like really amazing mindset thing that I got from this program was that we are always free to make new decisions. Like, I know that seems common sense and it seems like, oh, duh. But it's like me being like an extremist. It was always like, oh, like this one thing is going to be the one determiner right. that like is going to chart the whole course. And it's like, no, every meal is a chance to try again. Every right. training session is a chance to try again. Every decision is a chance to try again. And it's are you putting a mark in the column towards your goals or away from your goals? And guess what? Sometimes you're going to put the mark in the column away from your goals. Right. Like, anyone who tells you you're not, they lying, sis. Right. Like, you're going to do that. But it's like, when you talk about the culmination of things, when you talk about, at the end of the day, like, where are the marks? It's just like a savings account or a bank account. It's like, right. Are you taking out more money than you're putting in, or are you putting in more money than you're taking out? Because you can take out $1,000, but do you have $10,000 in the bank? Like, so if you took out 1,000, so what? You got nine grand left. Right. And so that's the big thing. Like, I always thought about, especially like health and fitness, is very like finite, like hardcore, made in stone decisions. I don't know why. It's the extremist in me though. But it's like, no, it's like every meal, time to try again. Every day, if in between a meal you need to make a new decision, that's what you need to do. If in between a training session you need to make a new decision, like, you could do that too. Like, there is no fail unless you quit. So I didn't quit, because I'm not a quitter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's all. This is major, right? All this is major. So for any of any of my entrepreneur ladies, followers, even men too, for anyone that's following that really just tried to lose weight a few times last year and was not successful at it, right? Being that you've gone through a 90-day online program with me and been successful, and you're going to continue to be successful, what's one key piece of advice you would give to anyone that's watching right now that wants to actually hit their business and their body goals in the next 90 days without continuing to cycle back around to failure?
Get a coach who you can be accountable to. And the
Dang.
coach will do the
Okay.
rest.
Cool.
Like you just gotta
That's
show
fair.
up and do what you're told. That's as someone who doesn't like to do what they're told as a lifestyle choice, like that's a big deal coming from me. Like show up, do what you're told to do. Make sure it's someone who's legit. Make sure it's someone who you can be accountable. Make it sure it's someone who has proven results.
Right.
Find a coach. Do what you're told.
Love it. See, look, 30 minutes of greatness. 30 minutes of greatness. Y'all make sure y'all follow her because, I will tell you, she's the best at what she does. Like, on a crazy level. Definitely the best at what she does, all right? So she's assisted me already in my business. And this is like after her joining the program and me just witnessing, what she does as an attorney and everything. So, yeah, I appreciate it. This has been great. Anyone that is interested in transforming their body and their business in the next 90 days, go ahead, tap the link in my bio, watch the webinar, and schedule a call. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye,
All right. Have a
everyone.
good one.